Jeremy,
Michael,
this is very cool.
this is very cool.
Hi, friends. Welcome to a musical rabbinic conversation and a chance to sing together and be together. My name is Rabbi Michael Shefrin. I'm the Associate Rabbi at Temple Emanu-El in Sarasota, Florida. And I'm really happy to be here with my friend, my teacher, my co-host, my colleague, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel of Congregation Beth Israel in San Diego, California. Jeremy and I were classmates in rabbinical school. We first met in Israel in our year in Israel of the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, and we became fast friends. We had lots to bond over and a really good time getting to know each other. Our families are friends. Jeremy was involved in my wedding, and he's just a mensch and a good guy and a good dad. And he's also a wonderful guitar player and singer and song leader and rabbi. And I asked him if he would join me in a conversation to just catch up and see where each other are at in our lives during this pandemic, and play some music. And we thought together that we wanted to share this with both of our beloved congregations, with the good people who are at home isolating, who might just want to hear some music and meet some nice people who love their rabbis. Jeremy, how does that sound all right?
That sounds great. That sounds great. I'm really excited for this. Michael, your friendship has been a core of my rabbinate and this whole experience. And when I think about how to deal with challenging situations, I often think, what would Michael do? And so it's very cool to be able to spend this time with you and for our communities to virtually connect. We are on a similar plane in terms of San Diego and Sarasota. We're both nice weather vacation towns.
And the sun sets on the proper side of the water.
And exactly. So, I was thinking how good it is for us all to be together. And what better way for us to say that than to sing it in the words of Psalm 133. So let's join together. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
It's so good to hear your voice and hear your musical. That was just great. Jeremy and I, we spent a lot of time in Israel together, but we also spent a lot of time together in Los Angeles. We were both studying on the Los Angeles campus of the Hebrew Union College, and we interned together actually at Congregation Kol Ami in West Hollywood. And we spent my entire last year of rabbinical school driving every Friday night together to services and driving home together, and planning services and singing together. And music for us is special. And Jeremy, we were getting together thinking about this. You brought up a story and a particular piece of Jewish music that you wanted to share with our group today.
Yeah. It's so nice for us to be together, and it's also so strange for us to be together in this way. There was a moment during one of our tiyulim, which is like a trip or an excursion, and we were visiting an olive farm where they take olives and modern day, they press it into olive oil and do different things with it. And one of the things that we found on the tour was the old olive press and the old olive mill and the old silo where they would keep the olives. And we're in this giant silo, empty silo, with walls surrounding us. And one of the members of our class noticed how it was echoing, and she started singing, Ozi vezimratya vayehi lishua. We all kind of smiled and looked at each other, and we realized that in this strange place, we can still have moments of real beauty. Ozi vezimratya vayehi lishua. 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 Ozi vezimratya vayehi lishua.
That was lovely. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thinking
I think
about...
it's also worth noting that we are recording this obviously from our own homes, but the backgrounds that we share are both from our synagogues. So what I have behind me is from the stained glass window that is in our chapel. Michael, what's your art behind you?
The stained glass that you see behind me is from the sanctuary at Temple Emanu-El. It's beautiful imagery of Jerusalem. The thing I love about it the most is on Friday nights, as the sun is beginning to set, it sort of dims. And when you're looking at it from the bima, the presence of Shabbat just becomes to fill the room. And you might actually think it'd be the opposite. When it gets brighter, it does it, but it's the reverse. It's the sort of the darkening of the night and the incoming of Shabbat that makes it so relevant. Thanks for bringing that song and that memory from our time in Israel together, and then tying it together with sitting in virtual backgrounds in front of our different sanctuaries. And the imagery of echoes was really meaningful for me. I think right now it's an interesting experience to invite people when leading a service to sing along in their homes. But I have this sense of echo where I actually feel like I hear people singing along. I know you do a lot of work with youth and kids. I do as well. I feel like when I, am doing a Tat Shabbat and ask the kids, what are they grateful for this week? I feel like I hear them. I really do. Sometimes I hear them on Facebook Live when they type in their answers of what they're grateful for, which is always fun. But I feel like even though we're distant, there's still this nice connection, and I hear the echoes of what people are singing. So thanks for bringing that. And I know, Jeremy, that one of the things that greatly connected us right away was our love of music. We each love different music and would constantly share new music. with one another throughout our friendship, which has always been great. And I feel like we push each other to learn and appreciate something new. So I'm excited for my Temple community to meet you and your love in particular of musicals. I know our congregation loves musicals. It's a big passion of many of our congregants. And you have a particular piece from a musical that I've never seen, but when you shared it with me, I was so moved by the lyrics and so moved by the song and the story. Would you mind introducing that and sharing it with us?
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure. There was a show that was workshopped in San Diego at the Old Globe Theater and then went to New York, and I think it went back and forth, by a guy named Benjamin Schur. And he wrote this show, and it's called The Lion. And it's about his life story of growing up around music and learning to play guitar and being in a band and becoming a songwriter. And his dad, who he was very close with, developing cancer and dying. And shortly thereafter, Benjamin actually getting diagnosed with leukemia and going through treatment and coming out the other side in full health. And it's a show about storytelling. And it's called The Lion. I don't think it's running anymore, but the soundtrack is available. It's an incredible, incredible album of music. I've actually never seen the show. I've only heard the album. But it's incredibly moving. And when this all started in mid-March, early March, which feels like an eternity ago, my wife Sarah likes to say, there's no time in quarantine, that we had to take our daughter to the doctor, and just a normal checkup, fortunately. But as we're driving, I had my phone on shuffle, and of all of the 10,000 songs in my library, this one happened to come up. And it was, as one of our teachers, Rabbi Richard Levy, of blessed memory, would say, what is a miracle? It's the right thing happening at the right time for the right person. And this was a miraculous moment in my life where I heard this piece, which I had known for years. And it really was the piece that I needed to hear at that particular moment. So I'm going to share the lyrics with us so you can see them. This is called Weather the Storm. Gather round, children, come here to my side. Sit by the fire where it's warm. I'll tell you something was once told to me about the way that we weather the storm. It's not how long the rain falls, or how hard the wind blows, or how deep is the snow in the road, nor the balance we fake when we feel the ground shake and we think that our world will explode. It's the help that we give, it's the love that we live, it's our pride and the friendships we form. It's the courage we show, facing things we don't know. It's the way that we weather the storm. If you try to stand tall, but you slip and you fall, in the earth is the sound of the stars. Truth gets revealed when you're broken and healed. Every heart is made stronger by scars. It's not how long the rain falls, or how hard the wind blows, or how deep is the snow in the road, nor the balance we fake when we feel the ground shake and we think that our world will explode. It's the help that we give, it's the love that we live, it's our pride in the friendships we form. It's the courage we show, facing things we don't know. It's the way that we weather the storm. So go on your journeys, be bold and be brave. Be lions, my friends, and be strong. And when it is such that it all feels too much, then remember the words to this song. It's not how long the rain falls, or how hard the wind blows, or how deep is the snow in the road, nor the balance we fake when we feel the ground shake and we think that our worlds will explode. It's the help that we give, it's the love that we live, it's our pride and the friendships we form. It's the courage we show, facing things we don't know. It's the way that we weather the storm. It's the way that we weather the storm.
That was just moving. Thanks, Jeremy. Wow. I think it's right. It's how we deal with this. And while we're in the midst of this pandemic, while we're being disconnected, I think one of the things that many of us are really hoping for is a sense of peace in the world, health and safety and just easiness. It's been such a stressful time for so many. I think it's a time for us to call out for peace in different ways. And we were talking about what songs you might sing and what things we might think about. And we selected and suggested two different, in tone as well as words, songs of peace. So why don't we start with one that I know is very familiar and beloved by our congregation, and you said for yours as well. Let's start with Shalom Rav.
Before we start, I want to encourage each of you to sing along. I was on a recent teaching session with Cantor Ellen Dreskin, and she said something really profound. She said, I can hear you, even though I can't hear you. So let's all sing this together. I can hear you, even though I can't hear you. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon bechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon bechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Oh, say shalom bimronav. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. Amen. Oh, say shalom bimronav. Say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. Amen. Shalom bimronav. Shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. Amen.
Yeah. Lots of peace. May we all know peace in our homes, shalom bayit, in our world, in our hearts, in our souls, throughout Jerusalem, throughout our world. May the one who brings peace bring peace to us all. One way that I believe that we can help achieve that peace is through a sense of gratitude. Jeremy, you brought up one of my favorite songs, and you said it. You're like, this is one of your favorites. I was like, that's true. We should do it. I find an incredible amount of depth and meaning in Psalm 92, one of the psalms that we sing at the end of the Kabbalat Shabbat service, but also just a song that has had deep resonance for me at various times in my life. The words of Tov Lehodot, saying, calling out to us to give thanks to God, to name the things that we're grateful for, but also to do it in the form of song, that we should sing out to God in the morning and at night. That expression of gratitude, whether it's through music or if you keep a gratitude journal or just telling someone you love what you're thankful for about them, is a way of saying thank you to God. So I want to say thank you to God for Jeremy and your beautiful family who've always been so kind to me and my family, and for all of the gifts that you have brought to the world of your smile and your sometimes terrible jokes, and your just sense of care and compassion. All right, fine, most of the time. But you have a sense of compassion and care for others and for yourself, which I really admire. I've watched you grow into a scholar and a wonderful rabbi, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm grateful to celebrate God and our tradition with you. Anything you want to say that you're grateful for? Please don't feel any pressure.
I'm grateful for you. I think that I'm grateful that we have this opportunity. There have been a lot of moments since the coronavirus started for us to lose hope or to feel helpless. And there have also been a lot of silver linings. And getting this together, I am incredibly grateful for. That we get to be together and sing and celebrate and give thanks to God in a way that realistically we wouldn't be able to under normal circumstances, and to connect with our communities in a really different way. I'm grateful that the opportunities have presented themselves for us to connect virtually. I think about and we were discussing this earlier, the opportunities for our communities to gather in ways that they haven't been able to. Our Torah study group, we usually get 30 to 40 people on any given Saturday, any given Shabbat morning. And we've regularly been getting 50 plus people, and especially the really special thing is those who physically can't make it to Torah study are now able to participate. And I am so grateful for that, that we are able to study our tradition with every single member of our community is just an incredible opportunity and something that I am very grateful for, that in the midst of chaos, that there can be these moments of silver lining.
Really nice that both our communities are having that experience. So kol hakavod, all the honor to Beth,
all the honor,
and to Emanu-El for your Torah learning and for hanging out with us today and enjoying some music and some friendship. Let's sing Tov Lahodot.
I think that's a great idea. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Lehagid b'boker chastecha, בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות, טוב להודות לאדוני. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai.
That piece of Tehillim, those words from Psalms about expression of gratitude through music means so much to me. Thanks for singing it so beautifully. Was I the one who introduced that tune to you? Did you know that one before?
I did. I had heard it before. but I kind of made a mental note that we were planning a service for Kol Ami once, and I think one of us brought up that melody, and you said, I love that melody. And I kind of made a mental note to myself. And on the last service that we did together at Kol Ami, I made sure to put that one in there.
I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I actually walked down the aisle at my wedding to that. So, which you were there and you played guitar at. It was fun.
I was.
Speaking of people.
I have a question. Does Temple Emanu-El know about your love of Metallica?
I mean, I think they know that I love loud, raucous rock and roll. In particular, Metallica. I'm not sure how many of our members know that band, but some of them definitely do.
Fair enough. Well, for those that do, it was an honor to play music at your Tish, Michael. And most music at a Tish, which is the celebration with the groom before the wedding ceremony, usually it's, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Oh, Yishama, lots of joyous, traditional Jewish music. And it was my honor for your Tish to play Exit Light, Enter Night, Take My Hand, Off to Never Neverland.
It's true. You did play Metallica at my wedding, Tish, and I am grateful.
We balanced out the Tov Lahodot.
It's true. It's also a time of balance in that we're remembering things of joy, but it's also tough out there right now. Many of us know people who have died. Many of us know people who are sick. Some of us may even have the virus, or just you might be battling depression, or it's just hard. This has been a challenging time. I'm so grateful for all the community support and love that I know both Jeremy and I have been experiencing, and the togetherness and the outreach and the inreach that have carried us through. But we wanted to take a moment in the midst of some laughter and some fun to think about, first responders and essential workers and those who are sick and those who are fighting hard to help us through this pandemic. And Jeremy, I know you have a special medley that you were going to bring to our session with those people in mind.
I do. I had a realization when my mother-in-law lost her mother, my grandmother-in-law. When you want to comfort someone, you want to do something. And oftentimes the best thing you can do is just be present. Meals are great. Cards are great. Phone calls, texts, messages, just being there for people, that's often the best we can do. And it comes from a place of care and at the same time, a bit of helplessness. And in talking with many members of the Beth Israel community, and I imagine members of the Emanu-El community, there's this feeling of, I want to do something to help. And it's a very hard sell to a community of Jews who are used to doing mitzvot, to say the best thing you can do is stay home and don't go outside. Hit pause on life so that we all can restart life and be safe. So I put together this mashup. It takes the Coldplay song Fix You and combines it with Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach, Prayer for Healing. And it ends on a hopeful note that those who sow in tears will one day in time reap in joy. hopefully we all will take these tears that we sow and they will grow into joy.
Amen.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. And the tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Sing with me. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
Wow. So many emotions. Thanks for bringing that soulful music and those important pieces of reflection and song. May I suggest that you introduce our sort of our last song. We have a closing thing that we chose together that sort of serves as blessing and statement about where we are right now. But this one's all you, buddy.
There is a great story about a king. I think it's of King Solomon. And it might not be King Solomon. We're going to say for the sake of today that it was King Solomon. And King Solomon put out a request to all the townsfolk. And he said, what is an expression that will make a happy person sad and a sad person happy? And all the wisest people came to the king, offered their suggestions, and all of them didn't seem to work. Maybe they made a sad person happy, but they wouldn't make a happy person sad, and vice versa. And one day a rabbi came to King Solomon, because rabbis are always the heroes in these stories. And he said, Gam ze ya'avor, this too shall pass. Susan Werner wrote this song, May I Suggest. In some ways, it's the musical version of Gam ze ya'avor. It is a song that has brought me comfort in sad times. It is the song that has helped me keep perspective during happy times. And my hope and my prayer for each of you is that this song is able to give you an opportunity to reflect, and an opportunity to appreciate, and an opportunity to receive comfort. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the thousand reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, like a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A lover's trusting smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest to you, oh, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. And this is the faith that they invest in you, is that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know it's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun, with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And I suggest this is the best part of your life. Oh, I suggest this is the best part of your life.
I know for many of us that this may not be so easy to see as the best part of our life, but I think it's got a lot of potential. And I think that one of the things that's been so moving for me, Jeremy, is just knowing that Zeh Hayom Asa Adonai, that this is the day that God has made. And with all of its challenges and with all of its struggles and with all of the distress and the worry and the concern and fear, you mentioned silver linings earlier. It's what we do with it, and what we do with it together. As has been said many times in these last few weeks, we're in this together. we're in this with Congregation Beth Israel. I know that you were excited to share your voice with Temple Emanu-El, but we're in this together. And that is the thing that I'm holding on to. That's my hope, that we're here now in this moment. We've reached this season. And it's up to us to make it into something of grandeur and memory and strength. Whether we're, donating with our generosity of financial support or of spirit or of time or of reaching out to those that are ill, like you mentioned, or connecting with friends, whether over technology or, with those that don't even have a computer that can get a phone call, making sure that those around us have food and the gear that they need to be out in the world safely when they have to leave their homes. We're in this together. Would it be okay with you if we said goodbye on an upbeat and joyous note?
Absolutely.
I know this song is one that is really special for Temple Emanu-El. We often end our Shabbat Alive with, and I know for many of us, that is a thing that we are looking forward to one day in the future, hopefully soon, please God, being back in our sanctuary, praising in song, in community, in safety. Singing out a song of peace, a song that crosses faith lines, a song that crosses boundaries, especially because right now we have these boundaries of isolation and quarantine.
Well, before we start, Michael, I want to thank you for organizing this and getting us together. Thank you to the Beth Israel community who is watching. Thank you to the Emanu-El community who's watching. It's so nice to all be together. And this is a true joy. And I hope it is a bright spot in the days of all the people who are watching and participating with us. So let's participate together once more. If you don't know the words, yai lai lai are the best words. Lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai lai la lai la lai lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai lai la lai la lai lai la lai lai ya lai ya lai ya lai la lai lai ya la 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 viva moed viva moed viva moed viva moed ya la la ya lai la lai lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai la lai lai ya la lai ya la lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai la lai lai ya la lai ya la lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai ya lai ya lai la lai lai ya lai la lai viva moed viva moed viva moed viva moed. One day soon we'll have peace, we'll all be together, we'll be whole once again, and we'll all be together. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם, סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם, סלאם, סלאם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
Thank you, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel. And thank you, Congregation Beth Israel. Thanks, Temple Emanu-El. May God watch over each of you. May you know health and safety, and may all those who you care for and are concerned for be wrapped up in God's blessings. Ken Yehi Ratzon. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Enjoy your day.